You are watching the Northern Sweden Welding channel, and today we are going to stick weld some stainless tube, and the tube measures 2 times 60.3 millimeters, so it's kind of thin materials. And you might think that we are going to, the best way to do this is using a TIG welder, but here in Sweden we often use a stick welder for this kind of application. All the times when you don't have the need for a very clean route, we do this. Mostly because it's way much more faster and you don't need any gases for doing this kind of weld. And it actually gives you very good quality. Today we are going to use a Kemppi Minarc 180 Evo, and this is said to be a welding machine for a welder on the move. It's fairly light, it's only about 5.5 kilos, but it puts out in stick mode from 10 to 170 amps. So it packs a punch. The weld that we are going to perform is a eye groove, I think it's called. That means no bevel, just straight edges. And this is it is 2 millimeters thick. And we are going to use a gap that's approximately around 2 millimeters. Not less. 2.5 might be a little bit much, but somewhere in between 2.5 and 2 millimeters is the optimal when doing this way. This weld can also be performed welding uphill or downhill. Today we are going to do the uphill version. Now we have tacked the pipe up, and approximately we got our 2 millimeter gap. When welding the pipe, it's very crucial that you have control of the arc length. There are several ways to adjust the heat that you put in the puddle. One of the ways is simply the more arc you got, the longer the distance between the rod and the puddle, the more heat you get. And the opposite, though, if you push it down into the puddle, you will get less heat. The weld will run much cooler. So what you will see is that I will adjust the arc after what I need. Also, if we think of the rod angle, we should aim the rod always towards the center of the pipe. You can do some manipulation of the rod angle. If you go a little bit a push angle, you will get a low profile weld. It will be flat both on the outside and the inside of the pipe. But eventually, if you go too much laying it down, you will burn a hole. If you do the opposite and do a dragging motion by going upward, you will get a very high profile weld, and that means both on the inside and outside. So this dragging motion you don't want to do. What you want to do is focus it on the center of the pipe and perhaps a little bit upwards if you feel comfortable doing it. Another way we have to adjust the amperage is simply by using a remote control. And what's good about the remote is that it lets us adjust the amperage while we are welding. It could work like a manual hot start, or often while you're welding you feel, oh, now it's a little bit hot or too cold. Then we are able to adjust it while we're welding. And it works like this. You see the display. If I crank this up, the amperage will go up, and if I turn it down, it will go down. This is actually, many of you might not have seen this, but this is a great tool. And once you have learned to use it, you don't want to be without it. You don't watch TV without a remote control nowadays. You shouldn't be welding either. When welding the 6G position, or like we say HLO 45, if you're right or left-handed, you have one easy side and one side that's a little bit harder to weld. Me, I'm right-handed, so it would be this side. And what I like to do is that I prop with my elbow on the pipe. Then I can support the rod a little bit with my finger. And I lean down so I can watch straight into the gap. That's very crucial. Okay, now when we get to this point when it's time to wrap it up, you see we got a distance here to go, and the tie-in will be a little bit downhill, and in this case I think we will be fine. This is an all position rod, works fine uphill and downhill, but what's important is that you got enough gap. Here you can see we got a little bit more than 2 millimeters. So I start from this side and we go over here. And when I about to terminate the weld, I will turn down the remote quite a lot and lift the arc just a little bit. And this will let the weld cool a little bit slower. And this, why we want this is because, or else we can get like a crater hole or wormhole. In Sweden we call it a pipe, and this we want to avoid. If this were to be a 7018 rod, that would have been a big no-no to long arc it at the end. You would get porosity and stuff like that. But with these stainless sticks, it actually works. I've done a lot of X-ray welds doing this technique and never had any problem with porosity. that's about it. I hope you enjoy this video as much as I enjoy doing it, and if you do, please like and comment and of course subscribe, and perhaps we see each other in the future.